But Pat Marshall asked me to come down. She's one of the production assistants.
I'm sorry, miss.
Pat, Lucy. I'm sorry I'm late.
Come on, I think I can sneak you in.
It's all right. I don't know what it is, Susie Q, but Mr. Sunshine seems very happy this morning.
Maybe he found the sugar plum bird.
Well, Mr. Sunshine?
Oh, I'm not going to tell you, Ginger. I'm going to keep it a secret. A secret. A secret.
Oh, please, Mr. Sunshine, please tell us. The boys and girls are wondering what happened to the sugar plum bird.
No. No, I'm not going to tell.
I'll be right back.
Sure.
Are you really running for president, Mr. Sunshine?
That's right, Susie Q. Do you have one of my
What's wrong?
pockets?
We had another argument this morning. And in
Well,
front of a
Meg will
boy,
give it
too.
to you.
You should have seen the look on his face.
Well, Susie Q, it's almost time to say goodbye to the boys and girls.
Everything will be all right.
You could believe me.
Ginger. Ginger, I have a question.
What is it, Susie Q?
What happens to people who do things behind other people's backs?
I don't know, Susie Q.
They get in trouble, don't they?
Probably.
They should. Bad trouble. You know what I mean?
Fedder's, world's largest selling air conditioner. And Pittsburgh Plate Glass Company, PPG. And the Gillette Safety Razor Company, maker of the world-famous Gillette Adjustable Razor and Super Blue Blade, present tonight's Michael Shayne.
Surprise!
Oh, a Fedder's air conditioner. But Howard, don't try to install it yourself. You know how bad you are at those things.
This new Fedder's goes from carton to cooling in less than 77 seconds. And even faster if I wanted to. All you do is slip it on the windowsill. Everything is built in. Pull out the aluminum side panels. First one, lock it. Now the other. Lock it. Lower the window, and it's installed. How do you like that, Madge?
Oh, wonderful. But you know, Howard, I think it would look better in the other window.
But Madge... Okay, the other window. Pull out the built-in sides, lock it, lower the window, and it's installed.
I don't know. Maybe it did look better in the other window.
Madge, I'll do it tomorrow in less than 77 seconds, but for now...
Yeah.
Let's cool off with the new Fedder's.
Goodbye, boys and girls, and remember, we'll see you all tomorrow in the Magic Forest. Say goodbye, Mr. Sunshine.
Bye!
Say bye-bye, Susie Q.
Bye.
And remember, be real nice to everybody, and everybody will be real nice to you. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Well, that's it, everybody. We're off.
Don't forget to see at Ginger's party tonight.
Well, Lucy, I wish I'd gotten here sooner. Bob,
Yeah, Ginger.
I was a washout on that monitor. Check the lights for tomorrow, will you?
Right, Ginger.
And tell Stan to get some new music for the opening. It's beginning to sound like the Rite of the Valkyries.
Yeah, well. See you tonight.
Right.
Hey, Ginger, how about a cup of coffee, huh? Wash away the blood, sweat, and tears, huh?
Sorry, Ray, no time.
Well, my time is your time. You know, we haven't had a chance to talk to each other lately, have we?
I said I can't, Ray. I'm busy.
Oh, come on, just a couple of minutes, honey. Come on, we can shoot the breeze, huh?
Ray, go find yourself a nice bartender. They get paid to listen. was I today?
No comment.
That's what I like about you, dear. You're never afraid to express your opinion. Pat, if it's not too much trouble, I'd like those trees repainted. The magic forest is beginning to look like a magic cemetery.
I'll tell Scenic.
Who are you?
This is Lucy. She's a friend of mine. I asked her down to see the show.
Did you enjoy yourself?
Oh, yes, very much.
Good. Pat, did you invite her to my party?
Well, no,
I'm having a little get-together for the cast tonight. Why don't you come? Pat'll give you the address.
Thank you.
Are you going to drive me home, or do I take a taxi?
I'll drive you.
Of course, I don't want to interrupt anything.
Come on.
Do you mind picking up Susie Q? I'll see you tonight.
Well, what do you think of her now? Her bite is worse than her bark, too. I don't know how Tom puts up with her.
You like him, don't you?
Very much. Too much. Lucy, I want you to come to that party tonight.
Oh, no. No, I couldn't. Besides, she was only being polite.
Please. I'll need someone to lean on. It's going to be a rough night. I'd feel so much better if you were there.
All right.
Good. Let's go get a cup of coffee.
Make sure there's plenty of ice in the bucket, Charlotte. If we need some, send out for it, will you? What are you doing up? For goodness sakes. Now, you run right back up to bed, okay?
Do I have to go to bed?
Yes, darling, but I'll be up to tuck you in a little while.
Will you tell me a story?
You bet I will. Now, you run ahead, okay? My love. Don't you think it's about time you get ready?
Don't worry about it.
What's this, a new head for Susie Q?
The old one was getting chipped.
Hello, Ginger. How do you like me?
Just fine.
I'm new. Brand new. Tom thinks everybody needs a change now and then.
Well, Tom's an expert on that.
Look, you're throwing a party. Let's not get started.
He's angry, Ginger. Poor Tom. He needs someone to comfort him.
Any suggestions?
Sure. There's a nice girl at the studio. Young and sweet and very pretty.
Ginger?
Tom's in love with Pat. Tom's in love with Pat. Tom's in love with Pat.
That's enough.
What's the matter, dear? Is something bothering you?
Why is he always running away?
Because he's a coward, Susie Hugh.
So he says, Madam, that's not an elephant gun.
Hey, where's your drink? Charlotte, get them a drink, will you?
Hey, Ginger, how about a few words from Susie Q?
Sure, she's in the workroom. Forget her, Bob.
Hey.
In a better mood tonight?
Slightly. I can never relax when Ginger's around. She always seems to be watching me.
This reminds me of a bad New Year's Eve party.
You talked to Ginger?
Not yet.
There you are. Here she is. Here you are, Ginger. Come on, sit down, everybody. Sit down. How do you like the party, Susie Q?
Well, you hear that, Susie Q? Everybody wants to know how you like your party. Why don't you say something?
I'm I'm shy.
Hey, Susie Q. How about meeting me after the party tonight?
Okay, handsome, but don't tell your wife.
I won't.
Good. Because you never tell her about all the secretaries at the studio, do you? Here's Mr. Sunshine. Hi, Mr. Sunshine. Is that where you get your sunshine, out of a bottle? Mr. Sunshine's really very funny.
I know.
Everybody laughs at him.
You mean with him?
I do.
That's not very nice, Susie Q.
I'm sorry, Mr. Sunshine. Let's be friends. I promise I'll laugh at all your jokes.
Good.
Somebody has to.
That really broke you up, didn't it?
Susie Q knows you like a book.
Well, maybe she does, friend. But you don't.
Hold it! Hold it!
That's right, boys. If you're going to fight, fight over me.
Okay, Susie Q, who else are we going to talk about?
Let's talk about everybody.
We can start with the writers.
I like the writers. They put words in.
What did she expect the way she's been laying it on?
Say the wrong thing.
Nobody hits back.
And there's the producer.
Especially me. Disgusting, isn't it?
Producers know that.
Are they as important?
I wish I knew what to do.
Nobody's as important as directors.
I think I'll circulate.
The directors say.
Thanks, Lucy.
I like the fruit. They keep dropping things.
Honey, I'm sorry I'm not much help tonight.
Sooner or later, we're going to have to tell Ginger. That's what bothers me.
I know. Should have told her years ago. Well, I tried to hold things together for Paul's sake. Guess I fooled myself, huh? Now the best thing is to get out and take him with me.
What'll she do?
It's a good question.
Possible to know what she's thinking. Sometimes I'm actually afraid of her.
Tell you a little secret, Pat. Sometimes I am, too.
That's it, everybody. Ginger just gave me a sleeping pill. Time to go to bed.
Say bye-bye.
Bye-bye, everybody. See you tomorrow.
Bob, be a doll and settle over there, will you?
Hello, Mrs. Dennis.
Are you enjoying yourself?
Oh, yes, very much. It's a very interesting party.
Where's your friend?
Pat? Oh, I don't know. Maybe she went out for a breath of fresh air.
I see.
Mrs. Dennis, this is a very lovely apartment you have here. How do you manage to keep it up?
Some other time. Well, it's out in the open, isn't it?
Maybe it's about time.
My, courage all of a sudden? You must be good for him, Pat. What's your secret?
Love and affection. But you wouldn't know anything about that.
Get out of here.
So maybe you better go, Pat. Ginger and I have things to talk about.
Such as what?
A divorce.
You can have your walking papers anytime you want them. Only don't make a fool of me, darling. Because if you try, you'll regret it. I mean that.
Threats, Ginger?
Exactly.
I'd better go.
Fine, Pat, and you can make that permanent. You're fired.
I was expecting something like that.
Well, you can expect a lot more. And so can you. Now get out of here.
I'm leaving.
what's wrong? Pat, what is it?
Lucy, can you ride home with me in the cab, please? I need help.
Sure, sure.
Well, Susie Q, did you enjoy yourself at the Dude Ranch today?
Oh, I had a wonderful time.
Maybe we can come back tomorrow and see some Indians.
Just like on television.
That's right. And that reminds me of Susie Q's rule for the day.
Do your homework every night, boys and girls, and then watch television. Work done, fun begun.
Say bye-bye, Mr. Sunshine.
What's Mr. Sunshine doing?
Now, wait a minute. You mean to tell me that that is a potential murderess?
Say bye-bye, Susie Q.
Bye now.
Bye-bye.
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 Sorry, but I'm afraid I'm still skeptical.
Mr. Shayne, she's a vicious, destructive woman.
You should have seen her last night, Mike. She used that puppet to attack every guest at the party.
And when Tom mentioned a divorce, I wish you could have seen the look on her face.
Well, so this sounds more like a case for a marriage counselor. Why me?
I told you, she wants to kill him.
Well, do you have any proof?
Yes. She threatened him last night.
Show him, Pat.
Show me what?
When I was leaving the party last night, I went to Ginger's closet to get my wrap. I reached up on the top shelf for my purse.
And she found something, stuck way in the back.
Well, what was it?
This.
You sure this doesn't belong to her husband?
Positive. Tom hates guns. Mr. Shayne, I've been in their apartment 100 times, and I always use Ginger's closet. The gun wasn't there before. I know Ginger put it there.
Maybe not for the reason you think.
You don't know her. She's not the type to give up a husband so easily.
She might be in love with her husband.
Not love, ownership. She runs around with every man at the studio. All she wants Tom for is a base of operations.
And why kill him?
I don't seem to be getting anywhere, do I? You obviously don't believe me. Sorry I caused you all this trouble.
Wait a minute, Pat. Maybe she's wrong, Mike. But it wouldn't hurt to be sure, would it?
All right, Pat. Let me have the gun. Tell you what, I'll check this through the police. We'll see what happens and then take it from there.
Thank you. Call me, Lucy.
I will, Pat.
I hope I am wrong.
You're just doing this for me, aren't you, Mike?
You want me to be honest?
I know it doesn't seem like much, but she was so upset last night. And you were the only one I could think of who could help.
You know, a few more clients like her, and I might as well be writing an advice to the Lovelorn column. But I'll see what I can do. Go ahead, get Gentry on the phone.
Thanks, Mike.
You Ray Turner?
In person, live from Miami.
Buy you a drink?
Sure. Can't think of a better way to open a conversation. Sit down.
Thanks. I meant two other things. My name is Mike Shayne. I'm a friend of Pat Marshall's.
Oh, nice girl, Patty. Real nice girl. She got fired last night.
So I heard.
Sometimes Ginger loses her temper. Doesn't mean to, I guess. Just doesn't think. How'd you find me? Geiger counter?
I'd like to talk to you about Ginger.
That's funny. I thought you wanted my autograph. I'm on television, you know.
Mr. Sunshine.
I'm surprised you recognized me without the makeup. What was the tip-off? The big red nose?
How well do you know Ginger?
How well does anyone know Ginger?
From what I hear, quite well. Especially men.
Now look, friend.
No offense.
Ask about something else.
Fine. How about this?
How about that? What did you say your name was?
I told you, Mike Shayne.
Well, let's put it this way, Mike Shayne. As Mr. Sunshine tells all his kiddies, never talk to strangers.
This gun was found in Ginger's apartment.
You don't say.
And it's registered in your name. Now, why did you lend it to her?
Good question. Go ask Ginger.
Maybe I will. Keep it, Jay. Good night, Mr. Turner.
Out into the kitchen and see if Charlotte's got your lunch packed yet. The bus will be here any minute.
All right, Mommy.
Mrs. Dennis? My name is Michael Shayne. May I come in?
Well, I'm sorry. I was on my way out.
Well, this will only take a minute. I didn't want to bother you at the studio.
How considerate. What are you selling?
I'm not a salesman. I'm a private investigator.
Come in.
Thank you.
All right. Who hired you? My husband?
Now, if you'll just wait a moment, I'll try to...
I suppose this is the moment of truth. What do you have? Tape recordings, photographs, and how much is it going to cost me?
Mrs. Dennis, maybe you've got a guilty conscience, but your husband didn't hire me.
I see. Then why are you here?
You borrowed a gun from Ray Turner, the clown on your show. I'd like to know why.
Oh. And suppose I don't want to tell you.
That's your privilege.
Then let's say that I'm exercising my privilege. Good day, Mr. Shayne.
Might be simpler if you answer my question.
Oh? Well, maybe I'm afraid of burglars. Or maybe I think my husband wants to kill me. Or maybe I don't like strange men who come to my door. Now, if you don't mind.
Not at all, Mrs. Dennis. I was just doing someone a favor by talking to you. But now I'm curious.
Who was that?
Nobody important. That orange juice looks like scotch.
Doctor's orders. Recommended for unhappy husbands.
It's very funny. I'm going to the studio.
Ginger, I'm moving out this afternoon.
Oh? Well, suit yourself. Have you told Pat the good news?
Let's leave Pat out of this.
I'm sorry, dear. I just don't happen to like her shade of lipstick. Especially when she leaves it on your collar.
You're really something, you know that?
You don't appreciate me, dear. Though you will after you marry Pat. It's like going from the penthouse to the bargain basement.
Look, I'm warning you. Say one more word.
Lower your voice. Come on, Paul. It's time to go, dear.
Hey, you have a real good day, huh, son? Draw me another picture.
I will, Daddy.
Okay. Why don't you give me a nice big hug? Oh, come on, a big one. Oh, that's good. Now, you go with your mommy, son. Bye, son.
Bye, Daddy.
Hey, throw me a kiss.
tomorrow we can go to a South Sea island.
But what about the snowman? He'll melt.
We could put him in an ice box.
No answer. I'm beginning to get worried.
We'll
Did you try the studio?
They said he wasn't there.
Maybe he just went out for a cigarette.
Try again.
Morning, Mike.
Morning, ladies.
And now, Susie, I want you to listen.
Pat came by to see if you had any information. Coffee?
Yeah, sure, why not? Who are you calling?
Tom, he said he'd be home.
I just stopped by there. I didn't see Tom, but I had an interesting talk with Ginger.
Did you ask her about the gun?
No, thanks. She borrowed it from Ray Turner for reasons unspecified.
Did she tell you why she hid it in the closet?
No, but it makes sense. Kid around the house, she had to keep it out of the way.
And you still think that what I've told you is far-fetched?
Not sure.
You will stay on the case, won't you, Mr. Shayne?
Well, we'll see what happens.
How did you like that, Susie Q?
You know, Ginger's beginning to interest me. Might even say I'm becoming a fan.
Tom? Tom, are you home?
False alarm. Looks like an accident. He was drinking, probably lost his balance and fell down the stairs. Mm-hmm. Right. So you that is.
What gives, Lou?
What are you doing here?
I work for a living, remember? When the husband of a celebrity dies, the public likes to know about it. Or was it murder?
No, accident.
Come on, Will.
You heard me. He fell down the stairs.
Since when does homicide investigate an accident?
Since Mike Shayne's involved.
Mike?
Yeah, he called me the other day.
About what?
Got a gun in her possession.
So?
So when the accident report came in today?
You figured you'd subscribe to the with their smoke philosophy.
Exactly. I'll be leaving now, Mrs. Dennis. This case isn't in my province, but I would like to ask one question.
What is it?
Why did you borrow that gun from Ray Turner?
I don't see how that relates to my husband's accident.
Doesn't actually. Let's say I'm curious. I'd just like to know.
There have been 3 robberies in this building in the past 2 months. I felt safer with a gun. You can check on that if you wish.
That won't be necessary. Thank you for your cooperation.
Excuse me, Mrs. Dennis. My name's Tim Rourke, Miami Tribune. I know this is a difficult time, but would you mind answering?
I have no comment for the press.
Well, surely, Mrs. Dennis...
Mr. Rourke, my husband is dead. I happen to have his blood on my dress. Now, if you don't mind, I'd like to change and rest. That is, if the police are finished with me.
We are. Thank you very much.
And I'm sure you'll both excuse me.
Nice girl. All heart.
Well, I'll be getting back to the office.
I'll go with you.
What for?
Best place I know to kill time.
Oh, hi, Will. Tim? Nobody was here, so I thought I might as well make myself comfortable.
Now, the reason I wasn't here is because I was out on a wild goose chase, thanks to you.
Oh? How wild?
Very. No guns, no scheming widows, just an accident.
You sure of that, Will?
He's sure.
Tim. Well, that makes it pretty convenient, doesn't it?
Now, listen.
Let's look at it this way. Somebody comes to my office and says Tom Dennis is in danger. 1 day later, he's dead. After all, where there's smoke...
Don't say it. Hello, Gentry. Yeah? Read it to me. What time? You sure of that? All right, I'll get back to you later. Well, that was the coroner's office with a report on Tom Dennis.
Yeah,
And?
He was murdered.
Murdered?
Somebody hit him with a blunt instrument. Coroner says it was the kind of blow that couldn't have happened through a fall down the stairs.
Hey, maybe the killer slugged him on the landing and then let him drop.
What was the time of murder?
Sometime between 11 and noon. That's as close as we can pinpoint it. One of my men questioned the neighbor. Somebody heard a clatter in the Dennis apartment about 11:30. That'll do for a start.
And suspect number one is little Miss Iceberg. Oh, you should have seen her, Mike. Sitting there with her husband's blood on her skirt and the driest eyes in the room.
Well, looks like I'll have to have another talk with Ginger.
Uh-oh. Wait a minute. Something just occurred to me.
Good or bad?
Depends on how you look at it. Do you know what time the Susie Q show comes on the air?
How would I know? I only look at westerns.
I think I see your point, Mike.
Yeah, well, I don't. What is it?
The show comes on between 11 and noon.
11 and noon.
That's right.
And if Tom Dennis was killed at 11:30...
Yeah. She had a few thousand kids for an alibi. Well, there goes my number one suspect.
Man, here goes your number one reporter. I better get this story in before it breaks. I'll talk to you both later.
So long. Anything else to brighten my day? Hello, Gentry.
Oh, Lieutenant, may I please speak to Mr. Shayne?
Why don't you get yourself an answering service?
Got one. Mike Shayne?
Mike, this is Lucy. I have a message for you. Pat Marshall called.
She know about Tom?
I'm afraid so. But she doesn't believe it was an accident. She says she has something important to show you.
She say what it was?
No, but she wants you to meet her at the studio. In room 7.
Okay, thanks, Lucy. Talk to you later, Will.
Mike, you do something for me. Just once, give me a straight answer. What was that about?
Pat Marshall wants to see me.
Oh, good. I want to see her, too. I'll come along with you.
Fair enough. City's gas or mine?
Yours. And stop for the red lights.
Hi, Pat. This is Lieutenant Gentry of Homicide.
How do you do?
Homicide?
That's right, Miss Marshall.
And you said it was an accident.
But you don't believe that, do you?
No, of course not. She killed him. I told you she would.
By she, I take it you mean Mrs. Dennis?
Mm-hmm.
Well, her husband was murdered, all right, but she was the only one who couldn't have done it.
Why not?
Because she was on television when he was killed.
Oh, no, she wasn't.
What do you mean?
That's why I phoned you, Mr. Shayne. She could have killed Tom, and I can prove it.
How?
Well, would you start it, please? I want you to sit there and watch something.
Oh, it's so cold here. I'll bet if we made a snowman, he'd need earmuffs and a scarf.
Maybe tomorrow we can go to a South Sea island.
But what about the snowman? He'll melt.
We could put him in an icebox.
Who can
Do
carry
you recognize that, Mr. Shayne?
Yes, that's the show we were watching this morning.
Yes, but it's 4 months old.
4 months?
It was put on tape and held for an emergency.
And it wasn't a live show today.
No. The director got sick at the last minute and they had to run it. I thought I recognized it when I was in your office.
What about Ginger?
I checked with the staff. She came in, they told her there wouldn't be a show, and so she left right away.
Well, there goes her alibi.
So you see, she could have killed Tom and made it look like an accident. She hated him because of me.
Well? Bringing her in?
Mm-hmm. Suspicion of murder.
Of course it's a fact. I don't deal in suppositions. Ginger Dennis did not kill her husband. She was in my office at the time of his death.
You're sure of that, Joe?
Well, we've known each other for 15 years. I'm a lawyer. You're a police officer. How many times have we been in court together?
More often than I like to remember.
Then kindly credit me with enough intelligence to know the hours on the clock.
Mind telling us what time she arrived at your office, Mr. Barton?
Shortly before 11. She called me from the studio and said the show had been canceled. She asked if she could see me.
How long has she been your client, George?
5 years. I was her father's lawyer, too. I've known Ginger since she was a baby.
I wonder what she was like then.
I beg your pardon?
Oh, nothing, Mr. Barton. Go on.
That's all.
Well, would you mind telling us what she came to see you about?
I'd mind very much. That's confidential information.
Oh, what about just a general idea, George?
Well, she told me she wanted to discuss a possible divorce with her husband. We talked it over an hour. Then she left.
And at 11:30?
At 11:30, as I recall, she asked me to send down for coffee. So, as you can see, gentlemen, she can account for her time.
Well, George, guess you've made your point. Thanks for stopping by.
Not at all. Call me if you need me for anything else. And let's have lunch next week, Will.
Like that.
Mr. Shayne?
Mr. Barton?
Bye, George.
Bye.
Well, this isn't a murder case. It's a seesaw.
Is he telling the truth?
George Barton's the most honest lawyer in town.
Then he sure knocked Ginger's motive into a cocked hat. If she was planning a divorce, then why kill him?
That's what I like about this business. You're always back where you started.
Well, looks like I might as well close up shop. No client, no fee, no case. Well, good luck, Lieutenant.
Deserting the sinking ship?
Let me know when the bow goes under, Captain. Hi, Lucy.
Hi, Mike.
Anything?
Pat's here. She's waiting in your office.
Oh. Hello, Pat.
Hi. I've been listening to the radio, but I didn't hear anything. She confessed yet?
She's going to be released.
What? But I thought...
She was with her lawyer this morning. It's a little difficult to be in two places at the same time.
I don't believe it. She's tricked you.
And I know you've had a shock today. But you can't make accusations without proof.
I don't care about proof. Tom's dead. No one else had any reason to kill him.
Ginger was going to give him a divorce.
Who told you that?
Her lawyer.
He's lying.
But why don't you go on home and get some rest? You'll feel better tomorrow.
I asked you to help me. I came to you and I asked you to help me.
I'm sorry, Pat, but there's just nothing I can do.
Then you're just going to let her go free?
That's up to the police. Pat, did it ever occur to you that Ginger might be innocent?
No.
You just think about it.
Goodbye, Pat.
How did you get in here?
I knocked. No one answered. The door was open.
Well, what are you looking for, Pat? Evidence? Well, why the visit?
I wanted to talk to you.
We have nothing to talk about.
Don't we?
We lost what we had in common.
I notice you're not wearing black.
An oversight. I'll have to speak to wardrobe about that.
You haven't changed, have you?
Come off it, Pat. You know I wasn't in love with him. Why should I be a hypocrite? I'll leave the morning to you.
You killed him, didn't you?
Is that why you came here? Looking for a confession? Oh, I'm sorry, sweetheart, but whatever else I may be, I'm not a murderess.
You hated him.
Hatred's too strong a word for boredom.
Suppose that's why you felt you had to play around with every man you met.
You want to put it that way?
It didn't matter what Tom thought.
How would you know what Tom thought? You didn't live with him.
Neither did you.
Didn't I? I supported him for 7 years. You know, in a way, you're lucky, Pat. He would have leaned on you, too. Tom was a leaner all his life.
That's a lie.
Have it your own way. Now, if you'll excuse me, I'm working on a routine for tomorrow's show.
Show? You mean you're actually going to go on the air?
Well, why not? Oh, you should see all the telegrams that have poured in since Tom died. Now, I really couldn't let my public down, could I?
You...
All right, 5 minutes, everybody. Did you see Ginger Ray? She's probably still in her dressing room. I'll get her.
Come in.
They're waiting for you, Ginger.
Tell them I'll be right out, will you?
Ginger?
What?
I tried to call you yesterday. I wanted to tell you how sorry I was.
Thank you, Ray. That's very kind of you.
Maybe it happened for the best. I mean, he really didn't appreciate you anyway. It's not that I didn't like him. It's just you deserve better.
Do I?
If there's anything I can do, just anything at all.
Thank you, Ray. You're very kind.
I don't like to see you sad. You should laugh, Ginger. You should always laugh.
You better get out there and tell them I'm coming, huh?
Oh, we got time. We could have lots of time.
Louder and funnier, Mr. Sunshine. You're not old enough to play Pagliacci.
What do you want?
I just stopped by to watch the show.
You just saw one.
Holland is known as the land of windmills, Susie Q.
And wooden shoes and tulips.
And the little boy who put his finger in the dike.
I'd be afraid to do that. Wouldn't you, Mr. Sunshine?
But he was a very brave little boy, Susie Q. He saved his country.
Did he get a medal?
That's right, and he lived happily ever after.
Oh, come on. What gives with you? Look, I'm a reporter. I'm going to give this show some free publicity. So if you don't mind...
I'm sorry, sir, but I do.
Well, do you accept bribes?
No, sir.
Oh, boy. Hi, Tim. Hey, Will. Problems? Yeah, I'm trying to get a story, but the sergeant of the guard here won't let me pass. What are you doing here? Questioning the cast. Looks like I'm a little early. Sorry, Tim. I'm with him.
Make a wish on the wishing well, Mr. Sunshine.
Oh, I wish.
Yes, sir.
I wish I had all the candy in the world.
What would you do with it, Mr. Sunshine?
Why, I'd give it all to the little boys and girls.
Try one of the dressing rooms over there, sir.
Thanks. We'll all stay here. Bring the clown in when they're through.
Are you really running for president, Mr. Sunshine?
That's right, Susie Q. you have one of my buttons?
Not yet. Ginger promised me a button.
Well, make her give it to you.
Thank you, Doctor. I really appreciate that.
Thought you bowed out of this case.
I did. And I just bowed back in.
Any special reason?
Best reason in the world. I know who killed Tom Dennis.
What?
You know, you really touched me with that sinking ship routine, so I decided to offer my services. Oh, hello, Pat.
Excuse me, I didn't know anyone was here.
I thought you left the station a few days ago, Mr. Martin.
Well, I did. I just came back to clean out some odds and ends.
No, you may as well stay around, Pat. You might be interested in hearing what I have to say.
So would I. You said you knew who killed Tom Dennis. Well, give.
We won't have to look very far. The killer's right here in this room.
And now, Susie Q, I want you to listen to some nice music.
Ginger?
I knew it.
It's impossible. It was with a lawyer.
Now, wait a minute. This morning I cut myself and got some of the blood on the rug. I noticed it began to dry almost immediately.
What does that prove?
You told me that Ginger had some blood on her skirt. Now, if she came home an hour after her husband was dead, she couldn't have stained her clothing. I just checked with my doctor. He said the blood would have dried by then.
Unless he was still alive.
Exactly.
Yeah, but the neighbor heard him fall at 11:30.
He did fall at 11:30 and was probably knocked unconscious. Ginger came home about an hour later, found him there, and killed him. That's when she got the blood on her skirt.
How did you like that, Susie Q?
Oh, I liked it fine.
And tomorrow, we'll all see a movie on how ice cream is made.
And maybe Mr. Sunshine will show us the fish he caught in the wishing well. Won't that be fun?
Oh, it certainly will, Susie Q. And now I think it's time we say goodbye to the boys and girls. We'll see them all here tomorrow in the Magic Forest. Say goodbye, Mr. Sunshine.
Bye!
Well, that's it, Susie Q. I guess we'd better say goodbye now.
A real goodbye this time.
That's right.
Well, goodbye, everyone. Goodbye. Goodbye. Goodbye.
Well, that's it, everybody.
What else do you want to know?
You plan to kill your husband with that gun?
No, I only borrowed the gun for one reason. Because of the robberies in the building.
Mm-hmm. We know how you killed him, Ginger. You want to tell us why?
Because of my son. Yesterday, my lawyer and I discussed a divorce. And he told me something. He said that no matter what I did, I'd probably lose custody of Paul. And I came home and I found Tom at the bottom of the stairs. I just kept thinking about my son. Losing him. You know the rest.
Exciting moments from next week's Michael Shayne mystery.
Who are you? Where's my husband?
Fortunately, he's not here. Otherwise, I'm sure there'd be trouble.
What's she got to do with Mrs. Carroll?
We caught her shaking down Mrs. Carroll's hotel room. She admitted it.
All right, Marigold. Seems I was wrong, Jim. Book Miss Marigold Jackson on the basis of her confession.
I want to call Michael.
Where's your sister?
I don't know. Isn't she with you?
Don't you know where she is?
In jail, where you ought to be.
Lucy, in jail? What for?
Breaking and entering as if you didn't
Take
know.
it easy, Willie. Looks like he's hurt. What happened?
I think he was slugged. How about a statement from him for the press before you drag him off, Will? Something original, like, I was framed.
Well, Mike?
I was framed.
Do you think I could commit murder? Well, you're wrong. I could.
Tonight's Michael Shayne was brought to you by Fedders, world's largest selling air conditioner, and by Pittsburgh Plate Glass Company, PPG, and by the Gillette Safety Razor Company, maker of the world famous Gillette Adjustable Razor and Super Blue Blade.
This has been a 4-star production.